We are not rare. But before you leave, you will perceive the lore will be unlocked. You might be stalked by a Sasquatch or a ghost witch, possibly even a ghost that will boast about knowing the Ohio grassman or even the Michigan dogman. Werewolves hunt, poltergeists are up front, but in these backwoods, folklore is unlocked.
Welcome back to Folklore Unlocked. I'm Austin, and like always, I'm joined by Ethan.
Yep, hello again, everyone.
And this week, we're taking a look at the Raven Mocker. It's also known as the Woman of the Woods, Death Caller, or the Heart Eater. And it's predominantly a shapeshifter that's mostly seen as a witch, but sometimes depicted as a Bigfoot-like creature with the assistance of a woman that lives in the woods.
And the legend goes it watches over the Cherokee people in the form of a raven. And as this raven, it will choose a specific target. Usually, the person is going to be elderly or sick in some way or on the verge of death. And they will torment the victim by pressing on their chest sometimes and restricting breathing or even sometimes throwing them on the ground. And if seen in their true form, the Raven Mocker will die within 7 days. And you might think, how do you tell if it's a Raven Mocker if it's in the Raven form? Well, apparently one of the Cherokee shamans has a special tea that is made from duck root, which after drinking it will enable you to see the Raven Mocker. So,
And then some further details is that the Raven Mocker will take to the sky in a fireball-like state or other light show state and dive upon the target to, for their death, and will complete this ritual by removing the victim's heart without leaving any marks. And it consumes the heart of the victims and absorbs the remaining years of life from the heart, which the name Heart Eater comes from. And before the attacks, it makes its presence known by calling out in the sound of a raven.
yeah, and that kind of gives it its second name, the Death Caller.
And then, of course, the association with the ravens is where the raven mocker comes from.
And apparently, the Bigfoot legend is that it's a Bigfoot, I guess, with black hair, black fur, and it uses ravens as some sort of drones, I guess, to look around for it. And then it has one white eye with a scar.
Yeah, according to mound monsters here, the Bigfoot version of the raven mocker, like telepathically enters the minds of ravens to see what they see. So it's kind of like this Bigfoot is using these ravens as a drone system.
Hmm, pretty cool.
And the theories about the raven mocker say it's a spirit, a witch, which would come up with the woman of the woods name if it's a witch, and of course the Bigfoot theory. But even then, it's just primarily mountain monsters with the Bigfoot. version.
Well, I mean, if it's a witch that can shapeshift, what's to say it can't shapeshift into Bigfoot?
I mean, yeah, if it's a shape shifting witch, yeah, that, and with like the Cherokee people, well, we've talked about the Sulkaloo or the Cherokee Devil, which is a like a hunting spirit that allegedly looks a lot like a Bigfoot. So it's not like the Cherokee people don't have a already kind of set Bigfoot creature.
Mm-hmm.
So who's to say that this Ravenmocker isn't somehow related to the Sulkaloo, which, like I said, we've got a video on. If you haven't watched it yet, go watch it, please and thank you. But realistically, a lot of these like different mythologies will have creatures that are similar to each other, but not exactly the same creature.
Mm. And then we have pop culture, which we've already said that, of course, mountain monsters kind of gives us the Bigfoot portion of the Ravenmocker. But then also in episode 57 of Walker Texas Ranger, which I would not have expected this to have it, Evil in the Night has the Ravenmocker as an antagonist.
And then on to our thoughts. I think I don't think the Ravenmocker is a Bigfoot, or at very least not your typical Bigfoot creature, since really the only thing I could find about it being a Bigfoot creature is have the Mountain Monsters episode. So I'm leaning, if it does exist, it's probably a witch that somehow shapeshifts and may take the occasional form of a Bigfoot.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's really the Bigfoot creature. Kind of like you said, it's basically only in mountain monsters, so kind of take it with a, well, maybe not a grain of salt, but it's like only one place says it's a Bigfoot, basically. And I think I like the witch form of it better too. But it's an interesting story. I mean, I kind of like the idea of a witch kind of controlling or possibly even turning into a raven if you think about the shape shifting thing. And the stealing of the hearts, I mean, kind of gruesome, but also kind of interesting. So,
Exactly. I mean, both versions are very interesting because, on one hand, you've got a human that can shapeshift and take control or take the form of a raven, and then you've got the Bigfoot version, which has a, from what I know of, a unique ability to take control of a raven and use it as like a drone system.
hey, maybe that's the reason why we can't find the Bigfoot because he uses the drones to look around before he even goes to a place, make sure there's no humans around.
Yeah, maybe all Bigfoot, big feet. Think of what we asked this question last week with the Yahoo. Go watch that if you haven't watched that yet. What's the plural of Bigfoot? Is it Bigfoot, big feet, Bigfoots? But maybe all of these Bigfoot like creatures have the ability to like enter the mind of like a particular bird, and you use that like let them as like a drone system. Well, that's all we've got for this week. Next week, we're going to take a look at some things, some true crime that's a little closer to our neck of the woods here. So we'll see you next week with Ina Jane Doe. Thanks for watching. If you're on YouTube, drop us a like, comment, and subscribe. If you're on Spotify, drop us a follow. And we'll see you next week.
Yep. Bye, everyone.
You might wake up beside Spearfinger with an extended visit from Jack the Ripper. But if you're lucky, it'll be an angel on that range hill of Louisiana. You might meet Mary Laveau or the Rougarou. At Folklore unlocked, Austin and Ethan concoct their theory of the eerie and unexplained around the world, sometimes even the underworld. The lore is locked behind secrets, the folklore is meant to be unlocked. The Sokoloo is haunting NC as well as Tennessee. There are many giants that might be clients of the Dark Watchers, who might have psychokinesis. And the phantom time hypothesis is like a phoenix, coming back around again and again. Though there's a strain on your brain if you've got more than 2 brain cells in you. Some believe McCartney is dead because they read into the Mandela effect, which is subject